Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, Paris. Good morning.
Hello, Maricar. Good
Evening.
morning. It's a little bit late afternoon now.
Yeah,
How is Washington? How is the States? What's going on in the States? I'm also gonna ask what's
right now.
happening there.
We're
What's happening in the
yeah,
States.
in
But
Iraq.
just this little bit seconds to my friends, just 2 minutes past 7, so we need some time to collect them. So until then, we can talk about a little bit what's going on.
Sure. You have read in the news, right? It's all over the news about the riots and protesting every day. There's so much going on. It's 10 days already since the shooting, May 25, no Memorial Day, and it's 10 days to June the 5th. So it's still going on. We don't know what's going on, but every day there's an event in the streets and lots of rioters, protesters.
Indeed, it's very interesting that we are seeing American soldiers on duty in the States now.
Yeah. Well, he deployed them. The president deployed it's called National Guard, the National Guard. And they're the ones with the uniform, the heavy
Mhm.
uniform, and they're protecting the memorials, the statues that we have, because people are breaking it, putting paint on it, and things like that. So he's
Mhm.
trying to prevent that from happening.
Under normal circumstances, we used to see the American soldiers in different countries but the States. But now they are working on their country. Listen,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many people watching us right now because this video will be placed into YouTube channel, then will be available anytime.
Yes.
So I'm very glad that you're here, that you accepted my invitation after Alushka, she's our president. And now we are hosting you as association, and you are brand ambassador of WFTGA.
Yes.
And colleagues in Turkey, they are curious about that. They're asking me, what's going on in the federation? What is federation? What is the benefit of federation? What is being organized under the federation umbrella? So that's why I would like to host you to ask this question and also talk about your personal life, your agency, your guiding service, how it's going on during Corona, after Corona. And I know that you are working very hard. You
Yeah.
have a very large network and you collect information, you evaluate them, you write them, and you deliver us. Thank you very much for your assistance and help, first of all. Then let's talk about in the way that you would like to talk us.
Okay, thank you, Baris, for inviting me to this platform. I think it's a wonderful idea to have this platform, to have guides come and talk about guides. It is a place where we can express our sentiments. All of it is my own, not with the Federation. This is my own personal opinion and expressions. And I think it's great that we have this opportunity, this channel, to be able to, exchange ideas and news. So let me start with the second part of your process as to, my
As
personal
you wish.
of becoming a guide. So I started guiding in 1997 in Washington, D.C., where I live. I have been residing here for, I think, 35 years already, and always in the tourism industry. So I'm originally from the Philippines, but relocated to Washington in 1984 after living in Europe for about 7 years of my life. So that's my background. But all the time, I've always been in the tourism industry. So I've worked in the airlines, in the cruise ship. I've worked in a travel agency, in a hotel. And then in 1997, I created my own business, which is called Washington Tours and Events. And because of my languages, so I speak 7 languages, people were saying, why don't you learn, guiding? Because it's very interesting. So I had no idea what the profession of a tourist guide was until, because of my language skills, people said you should open that avenue into guiding and put it into use, and tell stories of different different stories of America to our so many millions of visitors coming to visit here in Washington. So I started exploring what that meant, and then I went to get a training, which was not so good, but it was enough for me to get started. And I said, I can do this better. So I saw where I could innovate, the training, and maybe tweak it a little bit and add new energy and innovate new ideas so it's not old. So I started doing that. And the year 2000, I got the accredited trainer, international trainer with the World Federation of Tourist Guide Association. So then, it just started rolling one after the other. And I am also a member of the Guild of Professional Tour Guides of Washington, D.C., which is a very active guide association here.
Is it regulated? This profession is regulated in the States?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it's such a big country, not all the cities regulate. So there are only 3 cities in the U.S. that regulate tourist guides by the city government. So the 3 cities are Washington, D.C., New York City, and New Orleans. And the rest are not. The rest of the country is not regulated. That means it is not required to have a license.
I see.
By the government. By the association, maybe. Each association has different policies. But here the government regulates the license. The license.
But these 3 cities, what sort of ability they ask from guides? What sort of qualification they requires?
Well, it's different for every city. Like in New York and New Orleans, you have to pass a test before you can get a license. In Washington, there was, the Segway, the one that takes on the, the Segway tours.
Yes,
they went to court and demanded that we should not take a test because of the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech. So they took out the test. So now all you have to do is pay $165, I think, to get a license. Now, to become a member of the association, you have to pass a test to become a member so that you have some controls. And
comparing here, minimum 2 years study, sometimes 4 years bachelor degree requires to be guide. It seems a little bit easy to be guide in the States, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah, it's easy in the sense that you don't have all of these requirements for the school. No, because that's also one thing. Because the profession is seasonal. Because we guide from February to November, many of us, especially those who speak languages. But those who speak one language, it's limited. So it's not a full-time profession like in many countries. It's like, all year round because visitors keep on coming. Like in Istanbul, I was there only in 2019 and I loved the city. But you can tell that it's a city so rich and so many visitors come all year round. That's why your guides have really to have standards. Here, it's not like that because many of the guides, they don't need that extra money to live on because they have pension. So many of the guides are older. Most of, the guides here, we have about 500 active guides. And many of them are seniors. That means some are over 55 and above.
You're given this number for DC, yeah?
Yes, I'm speaking for DC. But all over the U.S. also, it's the same because it's not really, again, it's not a regular job where you have 9 to 5 or you get paid every month. Here, it's only when you work that you get paid. We are independent contractors.
Independent contractors is a good description.
All our profession. Yeah, independent contractors.
Just out of curiosity, I'm asking, how many hours took one tour for Washington, D.C.?
Okay, another good question. So the hours vary according to the client. So we because we get paid by the hour. So we have a minimum of 4 hours. 4 hours
Okay.
get paid one price. Then we have, 3-day tours. Sometimes we have to be with them 3 days. That's a different price setting altogether. We have meet and greet at the airport for conventions, doctors who come. That's another set, because not only do I meet them at the airport, I have to get their packets, their medical packets, bring it to the hotel. So I'm still charging by the hour, but it's a different rate because I'm not guiding really. I'm just doing like a messenger, collecting things, doing things, and then going to the airport, meeting them, bringing them to dinner. So we have dinner transfers, airport transfers. We have half-day city tour, full-day city tour. You have 2 days, 3 days. So everything is different, but we have a track.
Yeah, if any Turkish person or anyone wants to have a tour with you for 4 hours, let's say, what would be the cost?
The cost is about $50 an hour for so $200 US dollars
$200
for half a day.
half day, but entrance fee. I'm not sure about
We don't
entrance.
have entrance fees.
You don't
All
have.
is free. Many of our museums are free. If not, 90% of our museums are free.
Free.
So there's no entrance fees here to think about. There's nothing.
Got it. I hope in the future we will be your tourist, then you will guide us in that Washington DC.
No problem.
So and our friends, if they would like to follow you, they can find your contact through the name just seems above, Washington Tours.
Yeah, that's my company.
So your company.
Tours.
Yes, you are a guide, you are leading a company, but you also have many different duties. Let's talk about the duties. What you do in your daily life?
Yeah,
especially during COVID.
Okay, that's a good question, because COVID started for me I think March 8th. That was my last of I saw people, March 8th. And it's been this long. Now our city is open. So all this time I had no income. Nothing came in, nothing. No income, but the government helped us. The government gave us what we call a stimulus check, which is $1,200, all of us. Not only guides, everybody who paid taxes. They were good in their taxes, and they had...
That's the good point. Who paid tax, they got this support.
2018 and 2019, if you paid, you have a good record in paying, you get money back. It is also my money, that I paid to them. The government gives back.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I got it. A lot of my friends got it, so that helps. Then the city gives us what we call pandemic unemployment assistance. We get it in Washington. And you get every week a little one, not a big one, but it helps for food expenses, something like that, because there's no income coming in for 3 months. So that helps. But now, okay, so that was the COVID. We're still in COVID. We don't know when COVID will leave us. I don't think they will ever leave us.
We are pretending here that everything is getting normal. It's already normal, but I'm pretty sure that's not. Every day, more or less 800 new cases are reported.
Yes. There's no vaccine yet. We have to wait until the vaccine is developed. And Dr. Fauci, this leading doctor that has been talking to so many of us, every day, is thinking it might come before the end of the year. So with that might help us feel safer for visitors to come back to our city. Okay, the vaccine, that's a key word, vaccine, because without the vaccine, it can return. It can strike back. COVID will not leave. It loves to travel.
So we have to learn to live with, to work with.
Exactly.
What's our federation recommend? I know it's a very long procedure you are working on with the United Nations Tourism Organization.
Yes.
So you have some cooperations.
The World Federation of Tourist Guide is going to come up with the health and security protocol. So they are brainstorming. They have a working group right now, and they are going to be presenting it to their members very soon. I believe within the coming weeks, they will present the health and safety measures, that they recommend. But our association here, the local, is also developing something for us. So we have before we go out for tour, during the tour, after the tour. We're putting it in 3 blocks so that it's clear. How do we go to prepare? We have to put mask. What else do we need to put? The hand sanitizer. For example, I bought this little hand sanitizer that I
You are lucky you found it.
Yeah, I found it finally. But this one I put in my bag now. I'm going to put it for my hand. Maybe we have to prepare if the people are sick. Do we put temperature, and I don't know what you do with the temperature, but what if he has a temperature over 100 degrees? Do we have to bring him to the hospital? Those are the things that we have to, but I think for me, number one is we have to get retrained for health. Like, do you guys in Istanbul, when I go there for a visit, do you know what to do if I get sick? Or, are you trained to assist when a person gets sick? Or what?
Soon there will be a training program against pandemic led by the Ministry of Tourism and Culture.
That's right. That's
soon
very
we will
important.
have.
That's very important.
Also, we have some little questions and asking one of our friends says, can they accept a dervish? Dervish is the whirling dervishes from Konya. I would like to be transferred there. He is telling so. So another thing, yeah, everyone is waiting for vaccine, but unfortunately, global economy doesn't wait anything. Could you please ask? Also, protest in the USA. We were talking about.
Wait, what was the first question about the dervish?
It was not a question. It was a wish that he would like to be transferred to the Washington as dervish, as whirling.
Oh, that would be wonderful to have a dervish presentation here. That would be wonderful.
Let's start with the presentation, then he may ask a license. But that was one question. If anybody in Washington, New Orleans, and New York, in terms of these 3 cities, guides, if they do guiding without license, what is the fine for it? Is there a fine?
We don't. There is no tourism police here. There is none. There is no tourism police at all. So it's not really. They say the license is one thing, but how many people are illegally guiding? Like all over the world, this illegal guiding.
It's a big problem, especially in our country, in Mediterranean.
Yeah, problem. I see them sometimes from New York, Koreans, Chinese, bringing Chinese groups and guiding. But what can we do? It's been a long problem. That's so long, so old already, and it doesn't get resolved. We cannot find solutions.
So the Washington Association of Guides prepared some cautions before, during, and after trip. Right. And we will have a similar pandemic training soon, I hope. What about the federation and our federation? And again, you are a brand ambassador. Would you like to express us what is brand ambassador?
Okay, how corporation, it's a corporate title that is given to somebody who is out there, who represents the brand, who is the voice, who is the image, who can talk about the brand. Like Uber the drivers are brand ambassadors. They call brand ambassadors, especially if they're recognized always. They're very careful with the guests, and they take care of the guests, and they have good feedback, then they're maybe elevated to brand ambassador. So it's a brand, the company brand. I was awarded this recognition in 2017, I believe, and I was the first brand ambassador. Why?
I think there is also there is a Esther too, isn't it?
Yes,
Am I
that's
wrong?
the second one. That was the second. I think they will keep on building that every year, which is good. It grows
Mm-hmm.
and the community grows. But what I did, I believe, to arrive at that recognition was every time there's a convention, like with Serbia right now, but I started with, I believe it was Macau in 2008. 2008, I went to the embassy of China to ask them to do a presentation so that I brought my guides, the guild guides, the local guides, to come so that they would come to the convention. And every convention I would do that. I would go to different embassies and ask them, you think you can do a presentation of your country because we want to promote it, because we have a convention? I started doing that, and the
I
more I
hope you do the same for us 2000, in 2023, but there is nothing clear yet for Serbia, Novi Sad. What's going on? We will have this convention on scheduled or not as convention, but only assembly. What's going to do?
to decide. You just have to be patient. Right now, it's
Yeah.
because so many factors going on. We cannot rush the process because of the health. The health is very important, and if we rush it, so I think right now our executive board is getting responses from the second survey as to find out, should
Yes,
we
I just today replied the second survey.
here, it's good that you get different, and then we see the results and they make a decision. So let's wait until that happens. But in the meantime, we just have to be healthy ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves health-wise, financially, because it's also hard to travel even in 21 because the finances. We've lost a lot of jobs.
All
Maybe
of
at
us,
the end of the
all of
year.
us had the same problem. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not easy.
everything is upside down.
And then you have to pay quarantine. You have to pay airport.
Quarantine is free here, so you can come here freely.
But what if you're infected? You have to pay for everything. Because what if you don't know if you're infected, if you get tested at the airport, and then
In Turkey, all these services are free of charge. If you are infected, you get the cure without paying anything.
for international guests also?
Whoever in Turkey
That's
is the
good.
responsibility under the government. Yeah, it's not the like daily issues or daily accidents. Some covers police health insurance. These are not, these are exception, but COVID, whoever here is under the government's responsibility.
That's great. That's wonderful.
So far it's about 24 minutes. We were planning this program about half an hour. We have a couple minutes more. Anything you would like to share with Turkish guides?
Yeah, Turkish guides, I love your country.
Sheriff Yenan, I know you have a good contact. You had
very dear friend, and we were there in 2019. I met you, Parish, at my hotel, Recital Hotel.
Yes.
And it was a lovely...
You convinced me to come to Tbilisi. I know you were insisting. Well, that you did very well.
Yes.
Thank you, because it became international, worldwide. We are contact now. We are in touch with. You see, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Alushka. Maybe tomorrow I'll talk Michael Dillinger or Jean from San Francisco. So it makes us international. It's very nice feeling. It's very nice thoughts that I have.
And I think this is such a good platform that you have created, which I admire very much, because it's something we need after COVID. We need this kind of conversations that we're constantly moving, exchanging ideas, moving forward. So there are, the things that I would like to recommend to everybody. Number one is also what Dr. Rifai has been talking about, the former UNWTO Secretary General, is local tourism. I think we have to promote local
United Nations World Tourism Organization, you mean?
That we have 4 pillars, okay, of action. Number one is local tourism. Just like I did, which very, very well, all of the eating the local food, going to the mosque, like a unique experience for the guests. We should develop that, create that more, innovate that.
Innovate local tourism.
Yes, innovate local tourism. Number two is safety and health and safety. Those are big things. Wait for coming up, the guidelines, the measures, the protocol. The association should develop their own. We are developing our own. You should develop your own. Everybody has their own. Then we have the international one coming from the World Federation. Okay. Number three is retraining. You need to keep on retraining. So what you know as a guide now is okay, but you retrain for COVID, as a post-COVID. Because there are new things that we are doing, like all the masks and the hand sanitizers, different things. That is part of the retraining. We don't know that. This platform is very good. Zooming, this Instagramming, excellent. Do that more and more. So, do virtual tours. All of that is excellent. And then recovery. There, you just have to continue the goodwill that we are doing, become ambassadors. All of us are ambassadors of a city. We welcome the guests to come. And I will conclude by using Ataturk's words: peace in the country, peace at home, peace with our hearts and everywhere. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Also, we send our deep greetings by heart to all the Washington guides, to the states, and the member of Federation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maricar.
Again,
have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.